Welcome back everybody, Arborandy here, and today we're taking a look at Fairy Wind XL Whimsicott in the Ultra League in the Fantasy Cup. In Season 9 we were granted with the new Fairy type move of Fairy Wind, which is a 2-turn fast move that does 3 damage and costs 9 energy. It is a Mudshot clone that gains energy extremely quickly, and with the new Season 10 update, Whimsicott received Fairy Wind as an alternative to Charm, allowing it to gain energy quicker. So let's hop into the matches and take a look at XL Fairy Wind Whimsicott in action in the Fantasy Cup. So for the team we have reshiram in the lead with Fire Fang, Stone Edge, Crunch. Yes, it's not a fusion flare, it's just an old rank 5 that I already had built, didn't want to waste more dust. Then we have Whimsicott in the safe swap with Fairy Wind, Grass Knot, and Moonblast, and in the back we have XL Hundo Ferrothorn with Bullet Seed, Mirror Shot, and Power Whip. Now PV Poke does suggest Flash Cannon with Ferrothorn, but I wanted a bait move, and Mirror Shot does have the chance of luring the opponent's attack. We have an ACFB team here rating, A for coverage, C for bulk, F for safety, and B for consistency. It is a pretty standard ABB team with Fire in the lead and Grass in the back. The Fire Fang here, we want the Fire Fang, not the Dragon Breath, for the reshiram, taking care of all the Skizzers and the Escavs that we see. We're actually taking neutral from the charms here because the Dragon takes super effective, but the Fire resists. I know we got to the Stone Edge there, going to go for the Crunch, hoping for a shield, which we do get, and immediately safe swap into the Ferrothorn, and we're met with the Empoleon. Now we're up a shield against the Empoleon here, this is what we like to see. The Dropeks still do neutral, but we get their last shield with the Power Whip, and this is totally okay with me. I'm going to shield one of these Dropeks. It does do neutral to Ferrothorn because he's part steel, and we just want to preserve some health on the Empoleon. We can overfarm a little bit here, go for the Power Whip, and this will be getting the Empoleon under half health. Deep into the yellow, so one more Power Whip will KO. They get to a move, so I'm going to let this go through because we can tank one. The Dropek does solid chip damage, but we can overfarm just a little bit here before their next move, and we throw the Power Whip here, and this will take care of the Empoleon. Now we just have a weak Sylveon in the back. I'm going to go for the Power Whip here because it is the harder hitting move, but they're out of moves, so we have to shield. The Mirror Shot is super effective, and I could go for back-to-back Mirror Shots here, but I didn't want them sneaking in a Charm just in case we got KO'd by them. So we're going to go for the Power Whip here. Does a solid amount of damage to Sylveon. Can we get to the Mirror Shot? Yes, we can, and we don't need reshiram to close this. This Mirror Shot will be taking care of the Sylveon, and we will take Game 1. Hopping into the next matchup against Artifem, we lead reshiram into a Garchomp. We don't like to see this because Mudshot and Dragon Tail both do super effective damage, so I'm going to safe swap into the Ferrothorn as a neutral response because the Steel takes super effective, but the Grass resists. I'm going to go for the Power Whip here. The Garchomp also resists it, but the ground takes super effective, so it ends up being neutral. And this is the Ultra League, so it does over half health to Garchomp. This is just a Sand Tomb, even an Earth Power wouldn't have KO'd, but now that they've lowered our defense, this Earth Power does a lot of damage, so we do have to shield this one. They do go for the Earth Power this time, and we don't get baited, and we're going to go for a bait of ourselves. We haven't revealed that we have Mirror Shot yet, so this Power Up will KO the Garchomp. We do get the shield, perfectly okay for us, and we get the attack debuff, but that doesn't matter because this Power Whip will be KOing the Garchomp if they don't decide to shield. They let it go, and we take back switch. Perfectly okay for us because in comes another Ground Dragon, so actually Whimsicott is a solid wall to this because the Grass resists the ground and the Fairy resists the Dragon. So we're looking pretty good here. They're going to go for an Earth Power, hopefully. I'm going to opt to let it go. They do. Our defense was lowered, and we come in with Whimsicott, and they're staying in, which tells me they are weak in the back to Whimsicott. And this is what got me that Whimsicott is just core breaking all these teams. As long as you get the Escavalier or the Skizzer out of the way, takes care of all the rest of the, even like the Melmetals, like the Moonblast can lower the attack and stuff, but we have a Sylveon in the back. And they still have a shield, so I'm going to try to get to this Stone Edge here and try to get a final shield. We can come back in with the Whimsicott and hopefully get to a move. Psyshock will take us out. We don't get it off, which is unfortunate. So it's a race now. We have to reach 2 Grass Knots. Will this one will be getting a shield, but we have to hope that the second one will KO and that we can get there before they get to a move. We're going to get Charm Down, which is their move. We survive on 1 HP and get to this Grass Knot. Their move was not to throw because they would let some energy in, but we take the win with the Grass Knot for Game 2. Into our third battle, reshiram into Skizzer, another lead that we like to see, a Firefanger into the Steel type. They're going to switch out, and we have the perfect response in Ferrothorn again. We swapped in at the same time here. This was a CMP tie. We get to the charge moves around the same time. They go for the Drill Peck, and we can let a couple of those go through. Our Power Whips will do more than their Drill Pecks will. So they're going to just build up to another one, and we just go straight Power Whip. But I'm actually going to go for a bait here because this Power Whip will KO the Empoleon. We get another shield, so we're on par with baiting today. Fortunately, I'm going to shield this just to preserve some health on Ferrothorn. We're to get to this next Power Whip here. We can overfarm just a little bit again, just before they get to their move and get their final shield or KO the Empoleon. We take back switch, totally okay with me. The Scissor comes in, and I'm just going to go for the Power Whip here. The Mirror Shot is double resisted, but Power Whip I know is like double resisted because of the bug and the steel type, but it's the harder hitting move. These Bullet Punches are also resisted, but we're going to let Ferrothorn go down here. This Night Slash is neutral, so it will take us out, and we can come back in with Reshiram. We don't have to worry about any of their charge moves. They didn't get the boost, so we come in with the Fire Fanger, and we're met with the Grand Bull. Now this Grand Bull hits hard, the charms are just chunking away at Whimsicott, and I'm not going to bother going for the Moonblast. I can get to more Grass Knots here. Doesn't get the shield, and the Wincon I see here is just Fire Fanging down with Reshiram. I'm going to try to Fairy Wind down, force them to throw, but they don't. Now they have a move, but it's totally okay with me because we can shield this up. We got a Fire Fang through, so this will KO the Grand Bull, and we don't have to worry about any charge moves coming from the Scissor. We can totally Fire Fang down. This is just a Night Slash, not threatening. Still a bit of chip damage, but we're able to Fire Fang down and take game 3. Hopping into the next match, we see Empoleon on the lead. This match could go either way. The waterfalls are actually neutral here because the dragon resists when the fire takes super effective, but they're actually really chunking away at us. I was trying to catch a Hydro Cannon there, but to no avail. Gonna have to shield this one because it would have done a ton of neutral damage. So I'm gonna go for the Crunch here, hoping for a shield back. This could be the Fusion Flare. The opponent does shield, and I'm gonna try to catch the next Hydro Cannon onto the Whimsicott. The opponent holds onto their energy and sends in the Sylveon. We're 1-to-1 shields here, so this is okay. We need 2 moves to KO. I'm going to go for the Moonblast first and hope to lower the attack. They let it go through, and that does a ton of damage. Whimsicott, let's go. We get to the grass now. I bet it's a CMP tie against the Sylveon. Whimsicott has done its job, so we can let him go down. We can come back in with the Ferrothorn here, as the Ferrothorn can handle both the Sylveon and the Empoleon. The opponent is going to continue to farm, and I'm going to go for the Mirror Shot bait here just to get the Sylveon out of the way. We want to come out of this with some energy for the Empoleon. Sylveon goes down, but they actually come in with the Excadrill, and I'm just going to go straight Power Whip here. It does neutral because the ground takes super effective and the steel resists, but Excadrill's glassy, lets it go through, and we try to snipe with the Reshiram, but we get Waterfall down. This is totally okay with me, because as we saw earlier, we can tank a Drill Peck, but they actually go for the Hydro Cannon. I'm going to try to go for the Farm Down, but they're at another move. So we have to shield this one. No, we're going to let it go through. We can have to save the shields for the Excadrill in the back. We farm down the Empoleon in case they get to a drill run, but they actually let it go through and concede the match. Hopping into the next one. Reshiram into Aggron. Tough lead. Let's see if they have Smackdown. Yes, they do, so we're going to save swap into Whimsicott, and this really isn't any better. On the bright side, we have Grass Knot. We're going to have to shield a Heavy Slam if they decide to stay in. The Grass Knot does a ton of neutral damage because Aggron is squishy. The Rock takes super effective, steel resist, and we see a Fire Fangzation come out. Not what we were hoping to see. This is a little rough. It kind of core breaks the whole team, but they let the Moonblast go through, and it does a ton of neutral damage. Whimsicott almost taken out a Zacian. Now we have to come back in with the Reshiram. We can shield a Play Rough if they have it, because they have Fire Fang, so it's double resistant on us, but they don't even get to a move, and come back in with the Aggron. Since the switch clocks are still not up, we have to shield this Meteor Beam, and they get the attack boost, but we come in with the Ferrothorn because we resist the Smackdowns and the Thunders and the Heavy Slams, anything that the Aggron throws. The Mirror Shot is neutral because the Rock takes super effective and the Steel resists. We go for the bait and they fall for it, so we're still on par with our baiting game today, going straight for that Power Whip. They get the second shield, we get the second shield from the Empoleon, just go straight Power Whip here, and they win CMP. Totally okay with me, as we're going to have to shield another move later on. We can let one of these go through. The Power Whip will do over half health of Empoleon's health as we saw earlier, so we're going to need one more to KO. So the question is, can we get there? Yes, we can, and that was not a CMP because they just got to their move now. We got there first. Power Whip KOs the Empoleon, and the Aggron comes back in. They actually throw. I'm going to let this go. I know they have Smackdown, but they threw all their energy and it takes a while for them to get there. Reshiram, Fire Fangs down the Aggron, and we take all 5 games. Getting a 5-0 with the Reshiram there. Insane team for the Ultra League in the Fantasy Cup. So I think Fairy Wind is a great addition for Whimsicott and other fairy type Pokemon. It was a much needed addition as it gets an energy management strategy rather than a fast move pressure, and it helps Pokemon with no bait moves feel more viable due to energy gain. If you enjoyed the video, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It really helps me out because there will be more Pokemon Go content like this in the future. So thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Arbor Andy, and I'll see you buds in the next one.